Okay, hello and good morning, everyone. There we go. Finally, my system started working, and yeah, guys, sorry for this delay. Had a few issues, technical issues here, but hopefully now you can hear me and see me well. So yeah, guys, yeah, welcome everyone. Good morning, and as always, as I say, welcome to the Easy Markets Daily Picture International with me, Darius. Look, today is the 9th of August, 2023. So, yep, welcome everyone. As always, before we go further, because we have a look at normally here at the charts and everything, the technical analysis, the fundamentals. But before we go any further, I need to quickly mention our risk disclaimer. So let me just jump into that one. So yeah, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendations and should not be considered as such. This material should not be taken as an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. Look, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest. I'll disappear from that little left corner and I'll try to be back this time, you know. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, as always, just a quick mentioning of our Easy Markets website, which you can always check out for more information about us, guys. So, now then, let's jump into the charts. Yeah, the first one I want to pick up here is Nikkei 225. Not much excitement, to be honest. I think that I'll just leave it as it is. The same game plan is valid. Look, I talked about this a lot already this week, so I don't have much to add on this one. Just the same fact that in order to go higher, I need to see a push above the 50-day EMA right here on my daily chart. This way, more buyers potentially could join in. However, this move higher could still be classed as a temporary correction before another possible leg of selling. For the downside, in the near term, yes, a drop below this 31,800 territory, somewhere around there, is needed. Now, the main news. So, China 50, or should I say China in general. Look, for the first time in 2 years, that's what they keep on saying, because last time, let me just double check it very quickly. Look, the inflation number, Chinese inflation year-on-year CPI number came out at minus 0.3. Now, of course, the forecast was for a minus 0.4, but you know this kind of it beat the forecast. So the only thing is that in general, it's not the beating that everybody was kind of hoping to see. Look, it came out in negative territory, and it's the first time. Last time when we talked about it, and I think I've picked up on this as well before in my previous videos. I said that look, inflation was at zero in China, and now it's like in negative territory. Last time it was like this, came out below zero in March in March 2021. So for about like what 2 years and something, we have not seen this number falling below zero. Now, of course, everybody's saying, "Hey, but we were in lower in the year 2021 below zero, and now we're gonna get out of it." Yes, of course, we will get out of it. The only thing is that you never know when, because whenever the first thing happens, you just kind of start like panicking. Then you start switching on the rational brain, but doesn't always happen. The problem in all this is not that it happened. It's like, how long will it last for? Because if it's going to stay like in the negative zone, then yeah, that's a problem. If it's going to stay in the negative zone for a while, let's say maybe half a year or something, then yes, that's for sure, that's a problem. But if it comes back very quickly, out of it, so maybe it's fine, maybe it's okay. The only problem what I would say here is that 2021, when China last time reported a number below zero, it was like, yes, as I said, 2021, but we were in those COVID times when everything was, shut, and the economy was on a little bit on a slow move. So then, yes, you could explain. Now you don't really have much explanation. Okay, higher interest rates, right? One of the options, of course. But if that's the case, then well, this is looking a little bit worse than than the 2021 scenario, because then there was like a big valid reason. The whole world was preoccupied with COVID, and yes, everything was kind of disastrous. But now I would say this way, that we will have to continue monitoring this. It's not decided now, just, oh, that's it, let's collapse all together. No, just keep on watching it. Let's say if it's going to stay like this for maybe, I don't know, 3 months or 4 months, and yes, then this is where we could start maybe hitting the alarm. But again, looking at the picture here, the technical picture, as you can see here, China 50 actually even gained a little bit on the news, so and it's kind of still remaining in my pattern. I talked about this, and my pattern, which is this descending triangle pattern potentially, or maybe a potential bullish pennant. So one is a negative pattern, the other one is a bullish pattern. So which one will outpull which? Who knows? The only thing is, what I can always say, wait for a clear breakout. Just the only thing is that remember these scenarios, remember these patterns, and just kind of go from there, kind of, and then everything will be okay. But just try to position yourselves carefully, try to wait for the clear breakout, and maybe then we can do something about it. But at this point, I would say it's we're still watching, observing, and of course we're also watching the US, which I'll get back to in a bit. ASX 200. Oh, by the way, Daredevil Dave, I can see you there in the chat room. Good morning. And you just reminded me. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. There we go. I'll make it a ritual, just to say good morning to everybody in the chat room. So yeah, just one of those things, like get into habit of doing something good. Now, ASX 200. Look, I'm not going to even talk about the fundamentals on this one because, again, at the moment, I don't think that there's much to say. The only thing is that the technicals are really working well here for me on the ASX 200, because what I said to you before, that I need to see this hurdle getting broken, and not only broken, but also I would need to see the body of the daily candle staying below it, and then we could go further south. But at this point, you can see that we are struggling with this. So in order to go further south, yes, this is exactly what I need. I need to see a drop, not only drop, also the body of the daily candle staying below it, and then we could go from there. For the upside, I would like to see a push above the downside line, and then the next target is this other downside line, tentative one, don't get me wrong, but still a downside line which could provide maybe a bit of resistance. Who knows? But at this point, that's the game plan. While we remain in this territory, I'm just observing the price action. Dow Jones Industrial Average. So this is where the fun bit begins. So yesterday, we saw Moody's putting, their stamp in the history journal of downgrades. So yeah, yesterday Moody's came out with the downgrade for like a few banks in the US, and that didn't really sparkle with the market. The only thing is that look, yes, the market took a beating yesterday. In US indices closed in the negative zone, but they somehow managed to stay afloat. So just to quickly run through the downgrades, basically there were like some 10, the reports are saying that there are 10 banks, US banks, that were downgraded, and then there's more on the agenda for some more downgrades, basically. So the one of those negative banks were like Capital One, Citizens Financial, for Fifth Third Bank Corp, and also I think that they're currently under review for Moody's are the bigger ones as well, like BNY Mellon, U.S. Bank Corp, State Street, and Northern Trust, and some other ones. You can check out the reports in there and online. But look, in general, this is making everything a little bit more interesting. So it seems like I will stick to my. Sorry that I'm jumping around a little bit, but what I'm trying to say here is that I will stick to my kind of idea that I've mentioned before. That look, the main goal right now is to kind of bring the market down, because yes, inflation is a problem, but I think that everybody's trying to bring the market down a little bit in order to kind of start a shopping spree for later on, so where you can buy everything a little bit on a discount, because everything is a little bit right now way too high, like all your Nvidias, Metas, Google's, like Amazon's and stuff like that. So I think that everybody wants a discount. What everybody wants to, buy in, but like a lower price. And at this point, it's not attractive. So let's bring the market down a little bit. Interest rates are not helping. The market keeps on freaking flying. And now the next resort is the rating agencies. It's like we're repeating actually stuff, and rating agencies to the rescue, and let's go downgrade some U.S. banks, like hit the financial sector. So look, will that work? Because they cannot really overdo it too much as well, because otherwise it's going to be way too obvious, But let's see what's going to happen, right? I mean, we got a little shake up in the indices, because the market started pushing back up here, and look, Dow, for example, climbed back into the box here, and is currently staying above the lower side of this range that I kept on talking about. So in a way, it's kind of not giving up. The bulls are not giving up. Now, let's see how today's day is going to go, how today's session is going to go further. But yesterday we saw like the European market kind of collapsing in a way a little bit. But I think that was mainly from the China news of the lower export and import levels. So, but again, let's wait and see. Dow, for now, from the technical perspective, I would say I have to, although I don't know, but I have to stick to my game plan. And my game plan was this. I said to you before, and I think I'll have to stick to my words, that as long as we remain above the lower side of this range, because we got back into the range, if we stay above the lower side of it, I will consider a bit of a move to the upside. Not much, only up until this downside line, but still, yes, an upside scenario for me is at the moment a little bit more favorable, although I am having my skepticism a little bit. But for that, if even if let's say this is going to roll over and move to the downside, that's fine. That's also fine. But a confirmation break is needed. So at this point, I'm not really getting it. And if I get that drop again below the lower side of this range, which is on my chart here roughly near the 35,350 zone. By the way, I'm looking at the futures in general. When I'm looking at these indices, you probably might have cash indices. So, but the same story, to be honest. I mean, just a different number, but roughly it's the same. So you guys, do your due diligence on your charts, but look, if we start falling below this and stay below this, then yes, I will consider a bit of a move back to the downside. The S&P 500, similar story. Look, yesterday we declined, a sharp decline. We dropped below the subside line. We tested the 50-day EMA. Beautiful rebound, pushing back up. And now the question is, can we, fly higher again? Well, to be honest, I'm not going to rush into something like that, because I would like to see a push above the 4,557 territory in order to go a little bit more to the upside. At this point, I'm just observing the price action, because I really don't like this area, and I'm just, watching and waiting. And I get it. Dow is maybe, looking a little bit more positive. However, again, anything can happen here as well. But for the S&P, I'm just, like I said, I don't have like a strong opinion yet, so I'm just waiting for my clearances. The Nasdaq 100. So this one is a bit annoying, but I would say let's clear up the chart a little bit. This upside line worked initially, now it doesn't. Let's get rid of it. This upside line worked, and we stayed below this upside line, and we stayed below this hurdle, this 15,431.75 levels here. Look, we tested the 50-day EMA as well. It has proven to be quite an important area of support. So now I'm going to keep an eye on it. And in general, right now, judging from what I see here, I'm kind of leaning a little bit more towards the downside. But I would say I don't want to rush into anything. I just want to keep an eye on this one. If I get another drop below this 50-day EMA, I will get even more comfortable with the downside. For the upside, for me, I need to see a break of this downside line here, drawn from the high of the 19th of July. I get it. It's a little bit on the tentative side, but hey, this area I don't like even more. So for me, with the upside, I need some more clarity. Now, the German index, DAX, there we go. Yesterday, we cleared this territory. This is quite interesting, but it's interesting and not straightforward at all, because I was really kind of hoping that I'm going to see something a little bit better than this, but hey, okay, I'll just have to go from what I have. The reason is that we broke the lower side of this rising wedge pattern, which according to all the TA rules tends to break to the downside, and we did break, but we have some support here, this 100-day EMA shown as the green line, and we're currently resting on it. So yesterday we drifted lower, we traveled nicely to the downside, everybody was getting very bearish here, and then boom, we climbed back up and we stayed above the 100-day EMA. So that's no good for the bears, not well for some, because this kind of shows that there is potential for this one to fight back and push back up. However, I will get comfortable with the upside scenario only on a break of this 16,100 zone, somewhere around here, and then I'll start considering some higher levels. But at this point, look, I'm not saying that I'm skipping the downside scenario. No, if we start falling again below the 100-day EMA, I'm gonna go lower. I'm gonna go for this territory somewhere, which we tested yesterday. But I think I will have to go for no, actually, you know what? I'm gonna keep this one for now. The 15,834. I'm gonna keep it, and I'll take it from there. The FTSE 100. So looking at the picture here, still nice rebound we had from this downside line, which we broke. So that's fine, and it's all okay according to to the plan. But what I said to you before as well, that I need to see a push above this territory somewhere below, above this 7,570 zone in order to go higher. And if I get that, then great. I will, I'll consider some more buying interest. But for the downside, a drop below this downside line could be ideal. If I get that, then yes, there is potential for some lower levels. Now, like I said, while we remain in this territory, I'm just observing the price action, because I really want to see a push above the 7,570 territory around here. This level coincides nicely with the with the 50 and the 200-day EMAs. The dollar. So yesterday we pushed higher on the dollar, and we remained above this 100-day EMA. So in a way, that's all good, all looking nice and positive. Almost came very close to testing the current highest point of August near the 102.65 territory. And yes, for now, I would say as long as we remain above this upside line, then yes, certainly there is potential for this one to go further north, especially if it also remains above the 100-day EMA right here, right now. And then yes, my next target is still the 200-day EMA. I get it, we came very close to it, but I'm still liking that 200-day EMA shown here as the black line here as my next target. For the downside, now my downside scenario is, as you can see here, is not from the not from this upside line. it's from here, and because what I want to see, I mean, look, I don't want this to be end up being like a range or something. So that's why I have my downside scenario from around this 101.59 territory in order to be a little bit more on the safe side. And then yes, potentially more sellers could join in. Gold, so continues to slide. Everything's so far so good. We did drift nicely to the downside yesterday, and we came closer to testing my target, the 200-day EMA. So, long story short, I'm still targeting that, and so far everything's working nicely. So, yes, I will say I'm just gonna stick to my game plan. We fell yesterday below this hurdle. I talked about this 1931 zone. I said to you that if we do fall below it, then yes, my next target is around here, near this 1926 zone, and we tested that. We cleared it actually. So now we can mark the low of yesterday near the 1922. 0.80, something like that, or we can round it up here a little bit to 1923. If we slide again, this is going to be my next target, this the low of yesterday. But as I said, ideally I am targeting the 200-day EMA. The only issue for me right now is that look, if you've missed this, I would say don't rush. Maybe just wait this one out. Wait for some better clarity. Let's say if you're thinking to chase this one, towards this 200-day EMA, yeah, look, it could happen, but I think at this point, maybe the option is to maybe wait a little bit and maybe then do something about it, like just to see how it's going to play out in this whole territory, if we can reach this this 200-day EMA. But in general, you can keep an eye on some of these hurdles here. The low of the 4th of August. Also something that I'm going to be keeping an eye on. Actually, you know what? I like this one, the low of the 3rd of August so far, because this is the 1929-30 zone, approximately around here. So actually, this could be a nice good one, good level to watch, because yesterday when we cleared it, we drifted lower, but then we failed to stay below it. So yeah, maybe we could. And today, this morning, we're seeing that it's still getting a hold up here. Okay. You know what? Actually, I do like this level. I'm starting to like this level. Let's see. Let's see if it's going to work. If we do drop and stay below it, then yes, this might attract maybe a few sellers. Maybe this could say, hey, we're struggling to maintain these lows and and these levels, and that's where and especially where if the US dollar starts popping further north. So yes, there still could be some more downside for gold. But look, another thing here to consider, because today we don't have much data from the US, so only the crude oil inventories, some of that basically. But tomorrow is going to be an interesting day, because tomorrow we have these US CPI numbers. So in other words, look, if the dollar, for example, still pushes higher today, maybe it could get a setback tomorrow, and then maybe we could see gold rebounding nicely. So in other words, what I'm trying to say here is that that there is still potential maybe for the downside, but maybe on Thursday we could see a nice little rebound. But again, don't take my word on this one. We just have to go from what we see, what we got. Silver, yes, broke the upside line. So far, so good. Still drifting lower. Everything's okay. My next target is the 22.11 zone. That's it. That's what I'm going to aim for. Yeah. Now, you know what? I don't even have anything else to say about silver. Seriously, like for the upside, what I need here is to wait for a push above this downside line. Because maybe at the same time we could climb above all of my EMAs here on the daily chart. Like I said, it's a difficult one right now. It's it's a difficult one. It's not a difficult one. It's kind of straightforward, but it's doing what I'm asking it to do. But will it actually end up going here? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. But of course, for now, as long as we stay below this upside line, I'm just leaning towards the downside. And then, yes, I'm going to aim for this territory somewhere here. Copper. So, copper. Look, I've mentioned this before as well. And I've mentioned this one, and I said too that we have ourselves a nice rising wedge, which according to all the TA rules tends to break to the downside, and there we go, we got that break. So perfect technical setup here, worked out wonderfully, because I said to you that for the upside I need to see a push somewhere above this 3.9 zone. Didn't get that, that's fine. And instead we got the break of this lower side of the rising wedge, and my target got reached. I was aiming for the 3.78, so that's great. Yes, if we do, and we actually cleared it as well. So, but the thing is that we cleared it, but we're still above this hurdle. So that means that if I want to go lower now, I will keep an eye on this 3.78 territory. If I clear that, then yes, I'll go further south. Oil, WTI oil. Look at this beautiful false breakout. And this, of course, creates this kind of image that, you know, oil doesn't want to give up, or should I say the bulls are not trying to give up, and they're still trying to kind of, you know, bring this one higher. But I'll stick to my game plan. I'll say that 83.54 territory is something that I'm watching, and then potentially more buyers could join in. But I'm not, of course, I'm not excluding the downside scenario, no. But still, I need to see for the downside, I need to see the body of the daily candle staying below this area, staying below this upside line and below this 81.52 zone, because I got a false breakout yesterday, but that's no good for me. That's why I need to see the body of the daily candle staying below it, and then we could go to the downside. But at this point, you can see that the bulls are really fighting hard, so there is a good chance we could see a pop higher here. However, I'm gonna wait for that pop. I'm not gonna do anything yet. Yeah, man, 919. What's up? Yeah, nothing. Doing some charts, analyzing some charts, you know. So yeah, I hope you're having a wonderful start of Wednesday. Yep, I hope everybody else who's tuning in right now are having a wonderful start of Wednesday, guys. Thank you very much for jumping into this session. I really appreciate that. I don't know if JD Invest 1 is here, and this one of the viewers that pointed out this one on to Monday. So look, I've talked already about this when I said to wait for it, and there we go. 3,439 zone. Beautiful break, beautiful move here to the downside, and I said too that I'm going to aim for this upside line drawn from the low of the 15th of March, and beautiful test, fantastic. We tested also man, 19. Let's see indices. I just did indices. I mean, you tuned in late, because this is the list that I go through. So I first go through indices, then commodities, then cryptos, and then currencies. So I have a list to go through. So you need to jump in a little bit earlier. Or you can watch this as a recorded session, just pick up on the indices. And this is, like I said, this is the list that I normally go through every session. I mean, the list changes sometimes, but you can always see it on the right here on my chart. Now, coming back to this, so Cocoa, yes, fantastic result, great test. We tested the upside line, and now the question is what's going to happen further. Well, the thing is that, look, I talked about this 3,261 territory, which I marked here as well. Yesterday we kind of came very close to testing it. I would actually say it is a success. It provided good support, so that means that for us maybe that level is something to be watched out for. And if we do clear it, then yes, further declines are possible. So in other words, if you're looking for some lower levels, then wait for another break of this upside line. Then you can keep an eye on this little hurdle, and if that hurdle gets violated, then, well, guess what? Forthcoming lower low will be confirmed, and potentially this could be driven all the way towards the 100-day EMA, or this little target right here, the 3,106 territory, approximately around there. But yeah, we'll go slowly on this. Now, in terms of the upside, first of all, we can get rid of this falling channel. I said to you yesterday that no longer valid. But now what I need here to see is that I need to see a push back above the 3,439 zone in order to go a little bit to the upside. So, jumping into Bitcoin, as I said to you in my heading there of my video, cryptos wake up, and they do indeed. Look, let's say in this case, BTC USD, right? I mean, the US dollar right now is on the stronger side, and everybody's thinking like, how the hell this is pushing higher? This, but because there is a little bit uncertainty in the stock market right now, and cryptos sometimes are okay. Sometimes they are seen as safe havens, and of course this whole positivity around PayPal right now. That PayPal, is releasing their own stable coin, and which is going to be PYUSD. And this is gonna be backed by the US dollar. I don't know, like, okay, it's great, it's interesting. We are seeing some positivity here, but like I said, I think that this is reacting positively more just to the fact that there are some issues right now in the stock market. So maybe everybody's looking for something like a safe haven or something like that, and the cryptos did decline. So maybe we could see some more buying. And to be honest, look, I said to you before that if we do pop back above this 29,500 territory, I'll go higher, where my next target is the 30,410 zone, somewhere around here. We almost managed to reach my target. So yeah, in a way, I would say kind of a mission accomplished already, but there is still some potential for some higher levels. As long as we stay on Bitcoin above the 29,500 zone, I will aim a little bit to the upside. If we start pushing back down and we fall back below the 50-day EMA right here, I will consider a move back to the downside. Bitcoin Cash, just very quickly on that one. I said to you before that I need to see a pop above this hurdle, this 250 zone. You look at this beautiful test. We tested it, and we failed. We failed to break it, and now the question is, can we actually get that break? Look, with Bitcoin, I am a little bit more positive, right? But with Bitcoin Cash, cautiously bullish, yes, but I need that pop above this 250. If we don't pop here, maybe actually Bitcoin itself could actually drift back down. So that's why I'm giving you all these scenarios just to consider, because look, not everything is straightforward. I wish it could be, but unfortunately. So for this one, like I said, yeah, for me the 250 is still valid. I need that pop. If I get that, then yes, I'll get a little bit more comfortable with higher levels, maybe aiming for that psychological 300 zone. For the downside, now this is where yes, I'm going to keep an eye on the 50-day EMA, but as I'm seeing it right now, it's not enough. I think that we need to keep an eye on the current lowest point of August near the 217 zone, or should I say 200? Yeah, well, roughly around there. If we do clear it, this will confirm a forthcoming lower low. My next target is the 100 or the 200-day EMAs. Ripple, there we go. Also pushing Ripple. You always want, with Ripple, you always want to say Ripple is ripping to the upside. Yeah, a nice play of words. But anyway, it's moving nicely to the upside, or at least I would say it is trying to move to the upside. It broke the downside line, but I think that I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna get rid of it, because again, it is going to be, I think, one of those lines that is going to be just in the way. So I've had already one of those. So I'm just going to probably stick to some levels here. So for example, in order for me to go higher, a push above the 0.6686 territory would be required. And then I'll go a little bit to the upside. For the downside, again, I need to see a drop below that 50-day EMA. And not only that, I think that I will have to just maybe pick up on this current lowest point of August as well. And if that gets clear, then yes, my next target is the 100-day EMA together with the 0.5649 area. But if that gets clear, then yes, the 200-day EMA is my next good target. Litecoin, just a quick update as well. So still, you know what, I'm not going to say anything here. We're still above this territory. I spoke about this yesterday already. The same game plan is valid. In order for me to go a little bit lower, not much, only up until this upside line, which is, by the way, drawn from the low of the 9th of November. In order for me to go there, I need to see a drop below the 81.76 territory, somewhere around here. And not only false breakout, I need to see a normal, proper breakout where the body of the daily candle stays below it. And then I'll go from there. With the upside, I'm very conservative, and I'm waiting for a break of this downside line. Just let me grab a sip of tea. So, now then, AUDUSD, very quickly, let's jump into the pairs now. Before I actually run out of time, I think, yeah, I'm going to need to speed up this process a little bit. But look, there is going to be some have remained the same, some have been updated. So AUD USD, I've reached my target and I'm resting now. Because why? Look, I said to you before, from the beginning of this week, actually, I said to you that as long as we stay below this territory, below the 0.66 zone somewhere here, I will consider a move lower. And there we go. We drifted lower. We tested my target, the 0.65 zone, not exactly the level, but the zone. But okay, the level got reached as well, but I was aiming for the zone. And yes, so we got that, and now we rebounded. So this, oh, no, this one needs to go back. So now this arrow has to be redrawn, and I think that the best option here right now is to keep an eye on something around this. So this is going to be quite an important area of support. If that gets clear, then yes, I will go a little bit lower. Oh, apologies for that. I need to restart my voice. For the upside, with the upside is a little bit tricky. I would actually maybe start considering some higher levels if we do push. You know what? I think that this downside line, you know, I really don't want to get rid of it because if we do push back up to the 0.66 territory, I'll get a little bit more comfortable with higher levels. But then I will be very cautious near this downside line. Maybe somehow miraculously, there's no such word. Miraculously, it will provide good resistance, and then we'll reverse back down, But if not, then it opens the path towards some higher levels. So that's why I don't want to really, on this one specifically, I don't want to miss out on any opportunities, and that's when I'm going to keep an eye on the 0.66 territory straight away in order to examine some higher levels. Florence Okeba, good morning to you too. Good morning. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful start of Wednesday. So yeah, guys, and I hope everybody else is having that one like that as well. AUDJPY, so my risk on, risk off environment monitor. So yes, we can see that risk on is picking up, and we're pushing back above the 93.77 zone. So, as I said to you before, that in order for me to go higher, I need to see a push above this hurdle, above this 93.77, in order to aim for the 50-day EMA. If that gets cleared, then my next target is this downside line. Because don't forget that overall, we are still within the kind of a descending triangle pattern. So, in general, that such patterns tend to break to the downside, but hey, a confirmation break is still needed. Maybe it's actually going to break to the upside. Who knows? So that's why we wait. CHFJPY, just wanted to run this one very quickly by you, and yes, okay, so far so good. If we do clear this 164 territory, I spoke about this, and we stay above it, then yes, I'll go higher. Yesterday we had a nice false breakout, again, a little bit of a tease here, but that's fine. Again, today we're getting a hold up, that's fine. We're waiting patiently, we're not really doing much with this one, and let's see what it will do eventually. Will it actually end up breaking this barrier? I sure hope so, because that's what I would like to see. But hey, the market doesn't always do what I want it to do. USDJPY. So yes, still within this kind of idea, within this pattern of a triangle. So yep, the same game plan remains valid. I need to see a break of this downside line in order to go higher, and also push above the 143.90 zone, just for that extra confirmation. For the downside, I need to see a drop somewhere below this 141.55 territory marked by the low, or should I say the current lowest point of August. And then, yes, maybe we could also break the 50-day EMA shown as the red line. USDCAD, boom, beautiful move to the upside here. Because initially we saw this happening where oil was selling off, and yes, USDCAD kind of was devaluating very quickly against the US dollar. Sorry, USDCAD. Canadian dollar was devaluating against the US dollar, and this is the spike we got, and kind of it nicely correlates with WTI oil. So what's next? Well, we're seeing a bit of retracement, which is fine. And in general, my target got reached. What I said to you before, that if we do pop and stay above this 1.3387 territory, my next target is the 1.3462. Beautiful. Beautiful move. What's next? Well, I'm going to keep an eye on the same target, actually, in the same level. Maybe we could come back to it and test it, and if clear it, then I will start looking at something around here. This is going to be quite an important zone for me, resistance zone, but okay, before we can get there, I think that there's still a lot will happen. But let's put it this way. I think the more simple approach here could be this. If we do remain above this territory, above all of the EMAs, above this highlighted zone, I will continue targeting the upside. Once we start falling below it, and we stay below that 200-day EMA, I will consider a bit of a retracement back to the downside. US dollar against the Chinese yuan, offshore one. So yes, this one strengthened against the US dollar today. So it kind of took the news positively. The Chinese numbers, although okay, they're not maybe the best, because the market now started crying about this. Oh, like it's a tragedy. But again, time will tell. We have to wait. Maybe it is, maybe, but no one of us have a crystal ball. I just have a leather one here, but it doesn't always see the future. But yeah, look, for now, I would say this way, that in order to go higher, I would like to see a push above this barrier here, which we tested nicely, and we did violate it, but as you can see, we're drifting back below it. So in other words, it's kind of doing the stuff, kind of doing its job, but not, but again, just to be a little bit more on the safe side, I would like to see a push above that hurdle. And then, yes, we could go from there. Maybe this is going to end up actually being in a range. Who knows? So let's get rid of this downside line, no longer needed. So maybe this is going to be the case here. So at the moment, I would say wait for it. And let's see what we can squeeze out of this one. Maybe this is going to drift lower a little bit. Who knows? But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to maybe mark this upside line here as the potential one. So if you're looking for some lower levels within the range, then a drop below this upside line is required. GBPCAD, yes, we broke, finally, we broke it. We broke that 1.7110 zone. I talked about it. Yesterday we cleared it as well, but we failed instead. Today we're just slowly grinding above it. So yeah, look, I'm not going to do anything here else apart from saying that as long as we stay above the 1.7110 zone, I'm leaning towards the upside. That's it. If we fall back below this hurdle, okay, I'll take a neutral stand. I'll reevaluate things, but my downside scenario is still after a break of this upside line. GBPNZD. So yes, just bear with me one moment. My eye is itching a little bit. There we go. So in terms of GBPNZD, so after we got the pop, great. I said to you that I'm going to aim higher, and now we're seeing a bit of retracement. So which is fine in general. Look, as long as it stays above the upper side of this range, which we broke, then yes, all could still be okay. And yes, if we do continue to trade above this hurdle here, this 2.09 zone, then I would say, okay, great. Look, more buyers could join in here. So for now, I am keeping an eye on this barrier. If we look, I'm gonna keep it simple. As long as we stay above it, I'm gonna still aim for the upside. If we start drifting back below it, I'll take a neutral stand, because for my downside scenario is on a break of this upside line. That's it. EURCHF. I haven't looked at this one for quite a while, actually, as you can see by my arrows here. But what I'm gonna do here, I want to really mark this one to see if that's gonna carry any significance. And yes, okay, this is quite interesting. So from the shorter term perspective, maybe we could see a drift lower. However, I think that the easier option is to wait for a drop below the 0.9561 zone right here. If that gets cleared, then yes, my next target is the 0.9525 territory, which, as you can see, did act as a good area of support recently. And if that gets cleared, well, guess what? A further lower levels could be met. So a forthcoming lower low will be confirmed. For the upside, I think that the better option right now for the upside is to wait on a push back above this territory, this 0.9650. If we clear it, then yes, I will consider a move higher towards the 100-day EMA or even this 200-day EMA. So in other words, this upside line, why there is an arrow here. There, I don't like this. Just a second. Normal. There we go. So this upside line, it might not even be the one to watch, actually. Maybe actually we need to get rid of it and just focus on some of these levels. So yes, I think that would be better. In terms of drawing some other downside lines from the bigger perspective here, okay, look, maybe this could be the case. Maybe this one could be an interesting one. We do have a bunch of downside lines which are tentative. They might not carry eventually any significance, but hey, I'll put them on the chart for now. So if we do break above this 0.9650 territory, then yes, I will get a little bit more get excited with some higher levels. EURJPY, still watching. So yesterday we came closer to my barrier. Look, so far so good in general. I need to see a pop above this 158 territory in order to go higher. If I get that, great, I'll go to the upside. At this point, yes, I'm just observing the price action and I'm just not doing anything. For the downside, I need to see a drop below the 155.15 zone, somewhere around here, because at the same time we could fall below the 50-day EMA. EURUSD, yes, EURUSD is something that I'm keeping a close eye on. And if we do drop below this territory, below the 100-day EMA shown as the green line, together with these 1.09, if we also violate these 1.09, 12, 18 territories, then potentially this could, attract more sellers into the game, because the forthcoming lower low will be confirmed. However, as you can see, we're flirting with this downside line. So far, it's providing good resistance. If we do push back above it, then okay, great. But I'll get more comfortable with higher levels if we do push above this barrier, this 1.1047, or actually let's round it up here towards 50, 1.1050. If we violate this barrier and if we climb above it, then yes, I'll get more comfortable with higher levels. All this area right here will be just a neutral one for me. So guys, that's it for this session. I have to wrap it up here. Thank you very much for watching and listening. I really appreciate your time, your views, your comments. Thank you for that, guys. For your rockets as well. Really appreciate those. Thank you. Thank you very much for killing your time with me. I hope you found it useful. And yes, as always, join me tomorrow morning, 6 o'clock GMT time. But for now, have a beautiful trading day. Stay safe. Have your stop losses in place. Don't overtrade, and everything will be fine. Thank you very much, and bye-bye. Hey there, thank you very much for watching this one till the end. I really appreciate that. So like this video, we speculate your next mouse movement will be towards the subscribe button.